sister thought it would be fun to give my mother marijuana brownies.
It was a fantastic experience.
You gonna be doing it again?
I'm gonna be doing it hopefully on a bigger scale.
For the first 3/4 of it, she was a 9. She was great, but then...
Welcome to the show your mother warned you about. For the Boys with Steve and Gary. Buckle up.
I was thinking about these 8 years.
Yes.
And actually you can factor in the 2.5 years before that when we were dating. And when do you think in the whole time we've known each other, when were you most upset with me?
Oh, that's probably the 2 times you tried to choke me to death.
This is something that's happened to me in the last 5 months that I've been seeing this guy and I've been monogamous. And
he has a little trouble saying that word.
What is the one thing gay men misunderstand most about lesbians?
Well, I think, you know, all the lesbians that I know, they love to look at gay porn.
Do you like to look at gay porn?
I do.
Interesting. What is it about gay porn that doesn't? It's kind of like taboo.
It's interesting. Well, it's not necessarily taboo. It's like, let's take a look at that thing.
Speaking of your mom, because we were talking earlier about how your mom, we say that she didn't really have a problem with you coming out, more that she just sort of decided to not really address the issue in her head and just say, well, whatever.
Denial.
Denial. But your mom wouldn't let me come with you to your sister's wedding because she didn't, what did she say? She didn't want it to become...
Yeah, my coming out party. You know, it was just my mother and my stepfather's own, I think, insecurities about homosexuality. Honestly, because everyone in the family came up to me and already knew. They were asking me, where's your boyfriend, where's your boyfriend?
Well, okay, why didn't you bring it up with your mom? Ooh.
I'm scared of her.
Has anybody besides me seen this new campaign from Dove Soap about the Real Beauty?
Yes.
The Real Beauty campaign? Have you done?
Yes, I just saw it today, and they have their new Dove.com is their
Dove.com.
Right.
We'll give them a plug, and the idea, if you've seen the ads, then
they have billboards all over town.
Now the idea is that they're not going with supermodels in these ads,
right.
But how would you describe the women that are actually in these ads?
I would describe them as Dove's idea of full-figured women that aren't that full-figured, so that they're not showing fat women in their underwear on billboards.
Well, I have to disagree. It looks like fat women in their underwear.
And that's how your grandmother lost her virginity to the entire Confederate Army.
I went down to the Korean liquor store right around here, and there's, you know, behind the wall of bulletproof glass is the little Korean woman, right? And I go and I tell her what vodka I want, and she goes, "Can I see ID?" And I pull out my ID and I show it to her, and I swear I'm not trying to boast. She looks at it and she goes, "No! You kidding me? You kidding me? You're not this old? You're not this old!" I'm like, yeah, I am. And I'm not going to say how old I am, but she's like, "I think you may be like 24." And I said to her, "Well, God bless you." And she said, "No, God bless you."
That was me.
You know what the Dukes of Hazzard did teach us, though?
They taught us something? There's a sentence I never thought I'd hear, but what?
Whenever you're in trouble with the police, get in your car and flee.
Your sister made brownies for your mother, laced them with pot, gave them to her, and didn't tell Mom that pot was included as one of the ingredients.
No.
And what happened?
I was like just there, innocent, of course, innocently there. The next thing I know, Mom is dragging me off to the grocery store. After getting like 25 brownies later, the one thing I remember the most was that she wanted to buy a jar of marshmallow fluff.
Is that true, Millie?
And I said, she doesn't remember.
Oh, I do remember.
She's dropped acid since then, so she doesn't remember. Anyway.
Show us on the bunny where he touched you.
Gary, my lad, is going to hand you a gavel.
I feel powerful.
And you should. How this works is we will simply say a name, and you pass judgment on the person, like...
Oh, I'm ready. I know how to play already.
Everyone knows how to play this game.
Everyone knows how to play this game.
All right, let's start with Lindsay Lohan.
She turned into a skank. She looks.
This is an easy one, Madonna.
You know what? I know this is very gay. She's like a gay icon, but what I love about Madonna is she speaks her mind. She is talented. She's not the best at anything, like she said.
She does.
Dare.
She did.
But she knows how to entertain. The girl knows how to entertain.
All right. So we're sure on there. Number 2, Will Smith.
Yuck! Will Smith, I don't like him.
Miss Nicole Kidman.
Incredibly talented, incredibly beautiful, probably a bitch.
Star Jones.
Yeah! No! Okay, she makes her whole life like about the view. On The View, her whole life is the topic. She's like, well, you know, my marriage. Who? About her weight loss? Who cares?
Sean Penn.
I don't really care.
Tom
He's
Hanks.
hot, though.
Dr. Phil.
Here's the thing about Dr. Phil. Everyone knows he's a nightmare to work with. Yet, on TV, he tells everyone how to relate to people. Can't relate to his staff. How does he know how to relate to other people? I was thinking, you know what? Dr. Phil, I got some advice for you, Dr. Phil. Get your TV, because I don't want to watch it no more. There you go.
All right, this is the time of the show where like a couple of guys, possibly a couple of guests, just break into song for no apparent reason except it's the closing jingle. And well, you know, like the old gay MGM musicals, they just kind of walking down the street and break into song. That's what we do at this part of the show. There's a celebration all across the nation. Now is the time for those boys is the place. All your favorite places, lots of friendly faces. Now is the time for the boys is the place. It's all right here. People, you know your favorite show. It's all right here on For the Boys this year. For the boys, we know what you're after. Drama, cock, and laughter. Now is the time for the boys is the place. It's all right here on For the Boys. It's now is the time for the boys. That's the place.
Shake. Good techno.